Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Couture. It's your host and narrator, Akira Lee. And this week, we have something very, very special to talk about. The Met Museum announced its 76th annual theme for the ever so exciting Met Ball last year, and a certain community rejoiced. The theme was announced to be super fine, tailoring black style, with Coleman Domingo, Lewis Hamilton, A$AP Rocky, Pharrell Williams, and Anna Wintour as co-chairs, and LeBron James serving as the honorary co-chair. This event will be held on May 5th, 2025. Now, it led many to inquire, what is dandyism? What is tailoring black style? And why is this year's Met the most exciting and culturally relevant ball in years? Note, this is also the first time in 20 years that the exhibit will feature exclusively menswear. Now, in order to fully understand super fine, tailoring black style, we must ask ourselves, what is dandyism? Well, according to me, dandyism is fine black men who can put that on. However, according to source Teen Vogue, dandy was actually a term that originated in Europe to describe middle-class men who enjoyed socializing, fine dining, the arts, and generally lavish lifestyles. Sound familiar? Yeah. In London, they were Victorian social butterflies who, in line with enjoying high society, also wore custom trousers, knee breeches, silk ties, overcoats, and top hats. They lived for fashion, but also were considered bohemian intellectuals in post-revolution Paris. But according to Chantrell P. Lewis, black dandyism integrates European menswear with a distinctly African aesthetic, a sensibility that can be traced back to 15th century African rulers who blended the two styles, as well as to the dressing up of enslaved Africans in Europe and America during the transatlantic slave trade. A dandy or dandyism is street style with a hue of elegance and a splash of haute couture. It could be like comparable to the zoot suits that Latinos were rocking in the 1940s, which caused quite the unnecessary political uproar. Yeah, we'll get into that another time. It's not exactly who you're wearing when it comes to this specific style, but how you're wearing it. Monica L. Miller, author of Slaves to Fashion, says dandies commit to a study of the fashions that define them and an examination of the trends around which they can continually redefine themselves. This is all about how clean the cuts are. Is it fit to you? Personalized to fit you, to really show who you are. The ultimate self-expression through clothing. Who are some key figures in black dandyism? Now, I feel like that answer can definitely vary depending on who you ask. According to Darnell Jamal Lisby, fashion historian and assistant curator of the Cleveland Museum of Art, figures like Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois used refined imagery to challenge racist narratives. By the 1920s, black men reinterpreted Eurocentric fashion through their own lens, blending respectability with rebellion, a dynamic that continues to actually shape black menswear today. You could see examples of dandyism in films like Harlem Nights, any blaxploitation film of the 1970s, and as early back as movies like Carmen Jones with the full African-American cast. These are us showing our style and using costume to show that clothing isn't just something you wear, but a way that you can tell your story. What textiles do we see the most in dandyism style? Well, I can't necessarily say there's anything in particular, but I could say that lots of prints started to come in once OG dandy Dapper Dan stepped on the scene. There also isn't a common color scheme, and there's also not really exact fabrics that can be used to define this style. The tailoring and the styling itself is what does most of the speaking. There's lots of fine fabrics. Everything should fit nice and smooth, like wearing your Sunday's best. When did the shift in the modern dandy occur? Well, I'll say the 1990s with monogram suits by Dapper Dan in Harlem, and even today on the runways of Pharrell Williams' Louis Vuitton's Menswear collections, the style has even gone as far as Africa, where there is a healthy appreciation for dandy dress and finely tailored safari suits. So I guess you could say there's not necessarily even a time period, because dandies are always evolving. There's no specific definition to what dandyism looks like or is, and that is what makes this year's Met so exciting and so relevant, because it really is a test to fashion and style. It's really about, it's on you tonight, not in you. And if you don't got it in you, can you really put it on you? That's all. So excited to really explore this Met. You guys definitely should stay tuned on the Let's Talk Couture channel. I'm going to be kind of trying to just shift how we're going to be doing videos from here on out, and just implementing a little bit more fashion history outside of pop culture on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy that. So sorry once again for not uploading for a while, and stay tuned. You guys do not want to miss our in-depth Met Gala dissection, okay? I'm going to sit there and talk about these people like I was there myself. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Let's Talk Couture. Until next time, I have been your host, Akira Lee. Mwah.